We're going to talk to Popa. Come on down here, buddy. This is one of those, it's like Van Halen. There actually is a Popa Chubby. We're going to talk to him. Man, that's rocking.
Thanks, man.
Unbelievable.
Great to be here.
Yeah. Have a seat.
Thank you.
So you say you're from New York City?
New York City, born and bred.
Where?
Born in Manhattan, grew up in the Bronx.
What part of Manhattan?
I was born at New York Doctors Hospital, but I grew up on 184th Street and Arthur Avenue.
Oh, Arthur Ave.
Right, but that was it, man. You ever see A Bronx Tale? That was my life story.
Okay. Now, well, I eat at Pasquale Rigoletto's all the time.
There you go.
Dominic's.
Okay. Yeah, Dominic's. Man, I ate every day when I was a kid.
Stuffed artichokes at Dominic's.
Yeah.
I still go to, I go to Pasquale Rigoletto's on Arthur Avenue with my uncles, and we get pork with sweet and vinegar peppers.
Oh, man, stop it.
Oh, it's unreal.
Yeah, well, when I was a kid, we used to just, for fun, we'd just go to the poultry market and watch the chickens get slaughtered.
That was a fun time.
Yeah, that was it.
There's another place, Mario's, that was up
Mario's
there.
is the best restaurant, and the Half Moon Pizzeria.
Yeah.
All in the Bronx. And I grew up in Queens, right near Shea Stadium in Flushing.
Oh, wow.
So Shea Stadium was my stomping grounds when I was a kid. I used to cut out of school every day and go hang out at Shea Stadium back when they had double headers during the day.
In the 60s?
Yeah,
70s,
70s, but I went to the '69 World Series.
How old were you?
I was 9 years old. I'm 53
okay,
now.
well, you said so. Nice. And I went to the '77 when Reggie did 3 homers.
Sure.
I was 10.
Yeah.
That's the perfect time. So you were 9 at the '69
'69 World Series, yeah.
That must have been unbelievable.
Miracle Mets. My grandpa got tickets because he owned a gas station. Somebody gave him tickets.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
So when do you learn how to play guitar like that?
I started out on drums. My dad took me to see Chuck Berry when I was 7.
Yeah.
And changed my life because I saw Chuck on stage. He looked like a giant. And he had a big wad in his pocket. I said, "Dad, what is that in Chuck's pocket?" He said, "That's Chuck's money." And I was like, "Oh, I want to do that. I want to be that when I grow up."
And a hooker backstage knew it was something else. Though.
True. Great story about Chuck backstage once. He was playing at the Ritz, and I went backstage, and he had a hooker and a sandwich. Yeah. And I knocked on the door, and he said, "Come back when I'm finished." I said, "Chuck, which one, the hooker or the sandwich?" He said, "Both."
Of course. Well, how was he in concert? Because did you ever see Hail Hail Rock and Roll?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, so people have different
rough.
stories about
God
him.
bless Keith Richards and Steve Jordan for putting up with him.
I know he just would do a one-nighter. Like the deal was, you gave him 10 grand. He would show up with a guitar,
not tuned.
Not tuned. He'd have
pick
to
up,
tune it up.
man. I've backed Chuck up, man.
Right.
It can be the best experience or the worst experience. But
So
that's rock and roll, isn't it?
He would tune up on stage, right?
Well, or not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. Yeah.
So the guitar wasn't tuned.
No. Sometimes Chuck would just go up and look at his watch and There's a great story about on Chuck's rider is he has to have a new Cadillac because he drives himself.
Right.
So he's playing in Scotland, and of course they didn't have a Cadillac in Scotland, so they got him the latest Mercedes.
Yeah.
And he couldn't figure out how to start it. He got all pissed off. They started the car for him. He got in and just drove away.
So it's one of those weird things where it's oddly simple yet really controlling. It's 10 grand, but he needs his own car that he drives himself to the gig.
You kind of get
it's almost OCD a little bit, but
it's control because in his eyes he took so much crap from so many people, and he did, man. Yeah. I mean, when Chuck broke, people they heard the records, but they didn't know it was black, man. He'd show up at these gigs. And he'd show up and be like, "I'm Chuck Berry." He'd be like, "Who are you?
Yeah.
Get out of here, boy."
And you as a guitarist would have to sort of find the right key and back him up.
Yeah.
And just sing all Chuck Berry songs.
Yeah. It's a tricky gig.
But what a great life, because on that Hail Hail Rock and Roll, Springsteen tells a great story about being the backup band.
Oh, yeah.
And the same exact thing happened. He goes, I don't know what to do.
Same thing, yeah. Nobody ever does. And you go to him, "Chuck, what are we going to play tonight?" He's going, "We're going to play some Chuck Berry music."
Chuck Berry song.
We're gonna play some
So now, when do you break off and start your own thing?
I played as a sideman with a lot of people for a lot of years. In 1990, I got tired of it all, and I started the Popa Chubby band. And I was the house band at a very legendary blues club in New York that was called Manny's Car Wash.
Manny's Car Wash. I used to go see Johnny Allen there all the time.
Oh, yeah. Me and Johnny, when we started, we were rivals.
Yeah, Johnny Allen.
Yeah, where's he now?
How
you doing, Johnny?
Where is he? I haven't seen him since '95. Is probably the last time I saw him.
Last time I saw him, he said, "Would you like fries with that?"
But anyway, so Manny's Car Wash, I loved it.
But I was the house band there.
3rd Avenue, 85th Street.
Yeah, I cut my teeth in a club. I backed up every great blues player that came through town. I did the house gig on every Sunday night for 3.5 years.
Wow.
And then from that, I signed a big deal with Sony OK Records in the 90s and worked with Tom Dowd, who produced the Allman Brothers and Aretha Franklin, everybody.
Legendary guy.
One of the greatest things happened in my life. He was 72 years old. I learned more from Tom. We became great friends up until his death. And you know, it was a life-changing experience. I had a hit song with a song called "Sweet Goddess of Love and Beer" in 1995.
Yeah, sure. I did.
And then I went to Europe for a long time.
Great name for a band. John, you're in a band. I mean, you know.
Are you really?
Yeah.
What do you play?
I try to be. I play
Country
guitar.
band?
No, I'm not. I really don't like country music. At
Really?
all. No. I'm same as you, man. Zeppelin,
Right
Cream,
on, man.
Jimi Hendrix.
Put it there. My man.
But I'm nowhere near as good as you.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
You're incredible.
The guitar is the idiot's instrument. Anybody can play it.
Why do you say
I'm
that?
I'm like a rhythm guitarist. I mean, he's like a blues.
Yeah, but you could teach a monkey to play guitar.
wailing.
Really? Not this monkey.
I can teach you like that.
I tried, man.
I give you a guitar lesson. I'd have you sound like Hendrix overnight.
I
Really?
guarantee.
It's a challenge.
That's what I keep telling you, man. You can do it.
I don't know. I don't think I have the chops.
Well, you're not going to be like.
No, I know.
I
I'm
don't
just
know,
saying
man. I think, you know, maybe Artie, if he shaves the head and stuff, I'd get him out on some gigs. Summer for me. Or maybe
Stunt double.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, do it.
So how long does it take for you to put how long have you been traveling with the guys here? Who are the
we're
guys?
working
Introduce,
together. Well,
introduce
let
the
me
guys.
introduce him. On the bass guitar is my good friend and cohort, Mr. Eric Boyd, Mr. Eric
Great
Boyd.
job, man. Great
And then on the drums, he's just started with us recently is a young man named Felipe Torres, who was a drummer for the Monkees for a long time.
No, yeah, okay.
That's right.
What was that like? Yeah.
Noisy.
Yeah. Watching Mickey Dolenz get laid. That was. So now, how long you guys been together? Like the three
Oh,
here.
quite some time, man. We do a lot of days. We do over 200 dates a year. We tour everywhere.
Wow.
We were just in Mumbai, India, at a big festival, and we're getting ready to start a European tour. I got the new record coming out on
200
Mascot.
dates a year.
Yeah, we wrote a lot, man.
Here's the new record. It's Popa Chubby Universal Breakdown Blues, and there it is. That's a great shot, man.
Isn't it?
So So obviously I know what the double entendre is, but how'd you name yourself this as a band?
It kind of happened, man. When I started the band. Well, how it happened really was I was at a jam session with Bernie Worrell from P-Funk.
Yeah.
And everybody knows P-Funk is really influential jam band. And Bernie is a great keyboard player. We were jamming, and he had a song called Popa Chubby, and I went, wow, that'd be a great name for a band, because what Popa Chubby means, kids and kiddies, ladies and gentlemen, is to achieve a state of excitement.
Exactly. That's the best
So
way
I
to
thought
put
that's
it.
a great name for a band, man. Every night's going to be New Year's Eve. So just like Jethro Tull or Van Halen or whoever. Well, there was a Van Halen, I guess, two of them.
Yeah.
But
Leonard
people
Skinner.
started calling me Papa. That's right.
And you just went with that.
And I said, hey, why not?
Now is that short for a 17 last name, an Italian name?
My name is
17 letter last name?
Well, actually, I'm half Italian and half Jewish. So my name is Theodore Joseph Horowitz.
You're the perfect New Yorker.
I am, and I was an Italian, but I grew up in an Italian family with a name like Horowitz, so
Right.
I got beat up a lot,
Yeah, on Arthur.
mostly by my family.
Yeah.
Did you have a big family growing up on Arthur?
I had a big
lot of
Italian
cousins?
family, yeah, a lot of cousins, yeah.
And
they were all real Italians, like whole Italians.
did you ever struggle with substance abuse and stuff like
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Who has lived in New York through the 70s and has not struggled with substance abuse, especially when I moved from Flushing, Queens to Avenue C and 7th Street.
Wow.
Need I say more?
Oh, man. Yeah. In the 70s.
In 1979.
Wow.
When sane people didn't live east of 3rd Avenue.
Right, exactly.
So I lived in Alphabet City, and they sold drugs in my stoop, and my only thought was, oh, this is great.
Alphabet City in the late 70s.
Yeah, it was
that's
insane.
hardcore, man.
It was hardcore, man. I could tell you some stories. We could probably swap some stories.
Oh,
but
definitely, yeah.
Do you have some stories? I mean, were you playing at CBGB's then? In
Oh yeah.
79?
I was in some seminal punk bands. I played with Richard Hell and the Voidoids.
Yeah.
And Richard was. A lot of people say Richard was really the godfather of punk rock. Richard was
Not the
first.
Sex Pistols?
No, man. People, you got to realize something. Punk rock started in America.
Right.
And then.
No, it did, absolutely.
Yeah,
the
because-
Ramones and the
Exactly,
New York
it started at
Dolls were before the Sex Pistols.
Amen.
Yeah.
And then the English took, and actually Malcolm McLaren, who managed the Sex Pistols, actually came to these villages. I remember him being around, ripped off everybody, and then left.
Yeah,
town.
he
'Cause
was a
He
legendary-
managed the Heartbreakers for a while. Johnny Thunders and Richard Hell.
Yeah, he was a legendary sort of dirtbag with that. But
Dirtbag, that's
Richard Hell.
good.
Richard Hell was a big article in last Sunday's New York Times about Richard Hell.
Yeah.
About what he's doing now and everything.
He's a literary guy.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
runs the poetry
All the
thing for
poetry
St.
stuff
Mark's,
down there, right.
and he's a great writer, and he always was. He was always a very
He's
literary
writing
guy.
poetry now, hardcore,
Yeah.
because his songs were considered poetry to music.
They were, man. It was
he television? Television was Richard Hell?
He was in television briefly. Television
was.
was Tom Verlaine and I can't remember the other guitar players right now, but it was
Okay.
He was in it briefly. They were called the Neon Boys. But then, man, I answered an ad in the Village Voice in 1978. Guitarist wanted, so I came from Flushing and auditioned for this band, and it was this Japanese guy called himself Screaming Mad George and Disgusting. That was the name of the band. And like the stage show included me and a giant eyeball. The chick in the band would like beat me. It was great. I loved it.
That's great.
Yeah, it was cool. I didn't have to pay for it or anything. It was like really cool.
Yeah.
And George wound up being the biggest special effects guy in LA. He did Alien. That's all Screaming Mad George. And this was like this guy I played with in 1978, my first gig, coming to CBGB, seeing the Ramones. And if you played at CB's at the time, Hilly Crystal, who was actually a really cool guy who passed away, the owner of CB's, he just used to stand in front of the place and people would go, oh, Hilly's mean. Nobody ever talked to Hilly. One day I went up to Hilly and said, hey, Hilly, how you doing? And he talked to me, and he was just shy.
Yeah.
And then we had a good
he's running a
relationship.
bar at the time in a business that was just crazy. I mean,
And nobody did it. Nobody did it. He broke ground, man. Nobody.
Did the Ramones really not know how to play instruments? Was it all like?
No, the Ramones had their thing, man.
Yeah.
They were tight. They were really together. I mean, really well rehearsed. It wasn't like
Because I don't know if they say it tongue in cheek, but even in documentaries you see now, they go, "Oh, we didn't know how to play. We were just winging it."
Well, they knew two chords.
They gotta know something.
They knew 2 or 3 chords, which is for rock and roll. All you need is 2
The
chords.
Sex Pistols was the same way, kind of, right?
Well, yeah, but the Sex Pistols had a thing for sure. I mean, all that stuff was great for what it was and for the time. It really made a statement, man. Just like
it did. It had a great sound. I love all that stuff.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah. So now, where are you going now next? Are you on the road promoting this album, Hardcore?
The record's just coming out. We're doing a show in New York City, my hometown, at BB King's in Times Square.
Great place to see it. What are you doing now? I gotta come check it out.
On the 22nd of April. I wish you would, man.
What if it's not a weeknight? I can make it.
I think it's a weeknight, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, probably Monday night. Yeah.
I'll figure it out. I'll check. How do we
Somebody's
find
gonna
you?
work for a
How do
living.
we find you online?
www.popachubby.com.
www.popachubby.com.
Yeah.
The new album is Universal Breakdown Blues, and these guys are great. Check them out, and come back again, man. I would
love to come back. Really nice to meet you. I told you, man, we listen to you on the road all the time. You get us through a lot of hard hours out
Thanks,
there, man.
Well,
you keep us laughing.
We'll keep it up, and you keep it up. All right. Popa Chubby, and we'll be back with the rest of the Artie Lange Show.